Good afternoon and welcome to another Microsoft 365 Message Center update. Today we're going to be talking about a slip to a timeline on a previously announced feature, which is managing how long guests can have access to SharePoint Online and OneDrive documents. So we'll just bring it up. So what's happening is Microsoft's implementing a policy which allows you to define how long guests can have access to a SharePoint site or folder or a OneDrive site or folder. And then at that point it will automatically be revoked. Benefit of this is that guests don't have indefinite access to your content. Typically it's only needed for a short period of time anyway. So this is now going to be rolling out to targeted release tenants at the end of April. It was previously going to be January this year, 2021, and then standard release by June, which was going to be previously mid-January, which is already passed. And then Microsoft expects to complete rollout by the end of June, which was previously February. So we've slipped by a good 3 months there by the looks of it. So if you're not currently aware of this feature, let's just talk a little bit about it. So Microsoft marketing comes in. One of the strengths of SharePoint and OneDrive is that it facilitates sharing and collaborating among peers, not only within an organization, but also people outside the organization or guests. So basically what's happening is, as I said, Microsoft's going to allow you to set those limits on how long a user can actually access it for. Now, a couple of points that are important to note here. The policy is not retroactive, so it does not apply to guests that currently have access to content. Okay. The policy applies to users' access to a given SharePoint Online site or individual OneDrive. And when the access period reaches the policy threshold, such as 10 days, then the guest loses access to all content in that site. Guest access expires on a site-by-site basis, determined by when the guest was granted access to each site, whether that is a SharePoint Online site or an individual OneDrive. So after a guest loses access to a site, any user with the ability to share content can re-invite them, but up to the limit of what the policy allows. So if the tenant policy is 10 days and the user's permission runs out on the 10th, then you can extend it up to the 20th, because we can only give them 10 days at a time, and you can keep re-inviting them as many times after that as you wish. So just scroll down here a little bit, show you what it looks like. So how to prepare for this change. So users, you need to enable this in your tenant. So this isn't going to be enabled by default. But if you choose to use the feature, then you need to enable it in the SharePoint Admin Center and maybe notify your site owners so they know that this is something that's coming in. So we can enable the policy, and it applies to both SharePoint Online and OneDrive. And that's enabled in the SharePoint Admin Center, as you can see here. Okay, so a quick update. You may or may not have seen that feature before, but there is a slippage on that. If you were expecting that to come in, we can now expect that between sort of June time. Okay, thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you soon.